Welcome back, beautiful royal family. I'm coming back on with another video. Okay, so this is the video that I want to share the part back about Ezra speaking that they actually the forefathers left in exile because they brought back strange wives. And they felt, of course, when you're reading Ezra, that by them bringing back strange wives, that they were bringing back more, sin upon them, because Father had already told them who not to marry, to only marry within their tribes. So I'm going to share that part, and then I'll go to Ezra. But it's actually, it's, as far as if you look at the 1611 version, you'll see it in the Apocrypha. It's in there as well. It has two different Ezras, Ezra 1 and Ezra 2. And then, of course, in the, regular 66 books that we have this day is in Ezra, just Ezra. And so we'll go further in details. I have an article I want to cover too as well.
Originally, you believe from what tribe of Israel?
The priestly house of Israel. That's what we believe.
So you're Levites.
Yes.
You're from the tribe of Levi.
That's right.
And the DNA testing has actually confirmed that there's a large percentage of DNA that lines up with known Kohanim or high priests from both the Sephardic and the Ashkenazi Jewish community. So it's really fascinating. How did you get to the middle of Zimbabwe from Israel? How did that happen?
Probably I can help you in this area. During the Babylonian captivity, the Israelites were captured in Babylon. And then after 70 years, they went back to Jerusalem. And when they went back to Jerusalem or Israel, then the high priest Ezra, he didn't like those people or the Israelites who were married to foreigners. He wanted pure Israelites who were married to Jews.
So let me pause there. So he said in the 70th year, it sounded like he said 7th year, but I believe he said 70th year. That's will go definitely hand in hand with the Bible. Then he says that the high priest, Ezra did not, of course, wanted it to be where they married outside of our nation. They only needed to marry within the tribes. Well, that's not what Ezra wanted, is what the Almighty said. But let's go forth. Okay.
So unfortunately, we belonged to, if you read Ezra 2, verse 35, you realize the house of Senna. If you ask Lembas where they came from, they always use this Senna, the word Senna. We came from Senna. So we are Sennas in other ways. We are Lembas. So we actually could not leave our wives and our children. So we left Israel, we expelled.
By Ezra.
By Ezra. And then we came and settled in South Yemen. And then we settled for quite a lengthy time with our tribes, the 12 tribes. And then from there we're troubled by the Islam people, the Muslims, because the Lembas are very peaceful people. They don't like war. If you start fighting them, they move away. So after the Muslims were giving us trouble, we started moving from South Yemen into Africa. Some of us went to Ethiopia, and others moved on to Egypt. And then we personally moved to Africa. And some of us settled in Tanzania, and our group went to Mozambique, and we built cities in Mozambique. And the city of Beira, it is the port. There are some people amongst the Lemba people, they are called the Beira people. The Beira people. And this Mozambique, according to the Lemba name, we called it Mazambuco. And then the whites, when they came, they called it Mozambique. And this port of Beira, it was Beira, which is a tribe of the Lemba people, Beira. And then the whites called it Beira.
So the port was built by Jews.
It is we, the Lemba people, the Jews, yes. Yes, you are right. You are right.
That's right.
Traditions that we kept. In fact, wherever we were going, we made sure that the 12 tribes were intact, so that there was no marriage between people who were outside Lemba.
Only
We
among
married
yourselves.
amongst ourselves. That's
Yes.
why our blood remained in Lemba for a long time. And then the other thing that we kept was circumcision
dietary
and dietary laws.
So you kept strict circumcision,
Yes.
which is from the scriptures.
That's
Yes.
right.
You kept the dietary laws from
Yes.
the Torah.
We kept
So you have your own kosher butchers
Yes.
for hundreds of years.
For hundreds of
right.
years. We are just like that today.
So today you'll only eat meat that your butchers
That's right. That's true.
butcher in a kosher way,
Yes.
That's right.
according to scripture.
Just what we do
Wow.
it here. If you see a butchery
Yes.
here, we don't allow any person to bring the type of meat that we want kosher
Yes.
meat, which is slaughtered by a Lemba.
That's amazing.
Yes.
In the middle of Africa.
Yes.
Talk about. Let me ask you about some of the Christian traditions.
Okay, so family, what was mentioned that they traveled to Yemen, and as you can see, Tanzania, and then Mozambique right here, and then came further down to Zimbabwe. So along the way, there were ones that stayed, in different areas. Okay. So that will explain why, how they were on this side of actual, far as the continent, opposed to being over here near Benin and Togo and Ghana and Nigeria. So you could tell that we all, as far as our people, went in different paths. So they left way before 70 AD. And went further into Yemen and came that way, opposed to our forefathers that went further into where it's called Negro land, what you've seen on maps. It was after 70 AD. So pretty amazing, just amazing. So I did cut off the video when it was going into where he asked a question about Christmas, and they said they did celebrate Christmas. So that's another thing. It's like they have taken on the customs of other people that came in and showed them. It kind of can tell, in certain ways, things that they say, calling them Jesus Christ, that's brought on by another culture. I pray that they, understand that Yeshua, actually was a so-called black man, but in some cases, like over the times, people lose, over hundreds of years, but they've kept the customs in a lot of ways, as stated. But we can tell that ones have came in and brought their customs on to them, and they have taken on from what you can tell. Okay, so we're going to move forward here. So that's the video there. Now, what I want to do is draw your attention to this one article here. It speaks of, and this is just I believe, question that is asked: why did the Israelites have their foreign wives and children? And the answer is, after the Jews returned to Jerusalem at the end of the Babylonian captivity, Ezra, one of the leaders of the people, was given some bad news. The people of Israel, including the priests and the